Hey everybody, and welcome to this April edition of our home group meeting. I'm sure you can tell by looking in the background exactly where I'm at. I'm actually here at the church. This corner of Old Barnwell and Ermine can be pretty busy at times, so you're probably going to hear quite a bit of traffic, but hopefully you'll still be able to hear my voice pretty well. Looks like you caught me in full bloom today. Looks like I am blooming, which seems to be the theme of this season. You know, a few weeks ago, my daughter had to get braces on her teeth. And this is the first time she's really had any type of significant dental work done. And if I'm being honest with you, when we went to the meeting and then we sat down, you notice they'll go through the meeting first, and those of you that have been there, go through the meeting first, and then at the very end, they'll sit you down, and then they'll tell you about the financial part when you're pretty much done bought into everything. Well, by the time I had bought into everything, they decided to tell me how much it was going to be. And let's just say I can buy a really nice used car for that amount. But my daughter needs braces, so I had to get her braces. A few nights ago, my son wasn't feeling well, and he woke me up in the middle of the night and said that his head was hurting. So I went and got him some ibuprofen. You know, I dare say that in the coming years that there will be continued times where my kids will still continue to come to me, and they'll be asking for help in one way or another. At some point, they're probably going to have my grandkids, and at that point, they will need me for probably babysitting purposes, which I won't mind. And I'm going to get them hyped up on sugar and send them right back home. But, you know, the job of a parent is never done. Even to this day, I'm 45, and I still call on my dad for help. I still call on my stepmom for help. The work of a parent is never done. And a few weeks ago, I preached on a sermon that was titled, "The Work of a Farmer is Never Done." And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I was thinking about the growth process and the sermon that I had preached and the different things that we talked about, and I was a little inspired. So I went out and I got some seed. And right back over here, you will notice that we have this grassy area, and it's not too far from our dumpster. And this is where we don't really have a lot of growth, a lot of grass. And this area has always kind of frustrated me a little bit because at times when it rains, it drains the dirt away and you don't see too much growth. Matter of fact, if you look in the background, you can see a whole lot more dirt than you can grass. But I thought, it'd be nice to maybe plant something a little pretty. So I'm going to try my hand at farming. In that sermon, we talked about Matthew chapter 13 and how, I'm sprinkling the seed. It was the parable of the sower, and Jesus was telling the story of the farmer as he was sowing seed and the types of ground that he was sowing it on. Farming's hard work. What I'm doing right now, not really that hard. All I'm doing is just sowing the seed, and I'm hoping that at some point something positive will come from it. I'd love to see some flowers back here. I think it'd be beautiful. But I'm not going to stress myself out about it either. For something to grow, it has to have the right fertilizer, and it has to have water and sun. It has to have receptive soil. Flowers are gone, or the seeds are gone rather. There are a lot of things that are needed, and the whole farming activity, it requires a lot of us. There's a lot that goes into it. Sometimes the work of a farmer is even harder because maybe you are walking through the garden and maybe you need to pull out some weeds. you know? Maybe some of you have weeds that have grown in your life. Maybe some of you have things that have happened that maybe were beyond your control. Things, seeds that have been sown into your life that are not necessarily the most positive of things. And when those things begin to grow, you had to pull those things out. You had to clean out your spiritual garden. Or maybe you've come in contact with others who need you to help them. Yeah, we're in the South, so we got a lot of loud mufflers. Maybe some of you have come in contact with other people who their gardens are not necessarily in the best shape. And things like that can be a little frustrating. It can make us feel a little bit overwhelmed because we wonder, can I do it all? Farming's a lot of work. I'm too busy to help anybody else with their garden. I'm worrying about my own. But God is calling us all to do a work for the kingdom. But here's the kicker. Very rarely does he ever call us to do all the work. One of the scriptures that I pulled out talked about how Paul was telling a group of believers that, there are some who spread the seed, there are some that water it, there are some that fertilize it. There are differing jobs for each person in the kingdom. And the responsibility of making it grow doesn't fall to your shoulders. The only thing that you can do is to do your part. So today I want us to talk about farming. And I want you to kind of review some of the things that you know, and maybe sometime soon we'll see a little growth back here, at least in certain areas, because I didn't really have enough for the entire thing. But maybe you as well, sometime soon, will see more growth in your own spiritual garden and in the work that God is doing in your life, or maybe even in the life of someone else. I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time in your home groups. I hope that you will take the time to thank your home group pastors and just appreciate them for their hospitality. Make sure that you're helping them shoulder that burden. Make sure that you are continuing to maybe bring food. Ask them how you can help. Help clean up a little bit. We all have a work to do in the kingdom. We've been talking a lot about expanding. So let's jump into it today. I love you all. I'll see you soon. Now I'm going to hop back in my car before the pollen starts having me coughing my head off. And wherever you find yourself, bloom wherever he plants you. I love you. God bless. See you soon.